Yo, what's up, everybody? This your boy Sheafy on Anime Shea. In today's video, we got Deathnote Ending Explained. And I want to let you guys know that we got somebody with me that's going to help all this explaining and explanations on things. I got a friend of mine with me. Y'all already know him. Y'all seen him. Y'all met him. And we know him as Claymore.
Yo, what's up? It's good to be here. But yeah, just like the title says, we are going to explain the full ending, explain with 100% certainty how the ending wasn't just a director's decision to make it anywhere near one, but in fact was specifically planned out to end that way. And I'm about to explain how everything came to be in that episode.
All right. So we got my boy. He wanted to explain this, and when he brought it to my attention, I really didn't know exactly what he was getting at. But I was like, damn. When he explained it all, I was like, nah, it makes fucking sense. Cause it was always a little slight hole into this story that I used to be kind of trying to figure out. But now it's all filled in, and I think most people don't really realize this key to the plot. But we're gonna dig into that. So to start things off, I just want to ask. Basically, I want to ask everybody, along with Claymore, what do you guys think happened in the ending of Deathnote, and why did it happen? But it's also a missing piece, remember, so I'm finna let Claymore explain this, and we're gonna dig right into it. But what are we explaining today? Like,
okay, so
let's get the gist of it.
In today's episode, I'm going to explain how Nier was able to beat Light fairly, not cheating, because in a bunch of reviews they say that he cheated, or this is a director's edition or a director's decision that they wanted Light to be the bad guy and lose and stuff like that. Right, but I think with what I'm about to propose is actually what happened. So let's get into it. In the final episode, at the last about 5 minutes, about 5-10 minutes of the episode, you see Light and Nier going at it with the battle of wits. So, Nier happens to pull out 2 Death Notes. One obviously being a fake one because, that's the book that everyone assumes Light gave to Mikami. Mikami got stolen by Nier's bodyguard, I think it is.
Yeah.
So now, Light's thinking he's got 2 real Death Notes and Nier has a fake one, so there's no way he lost. But we see Nier pull out a second Death Note from his shirt. Now, this is the biggest question of the whole show. How did Nier obtain 2 Death Notes? Because at that point we know Light has his book because of course he's got the Death Note in his watch, so he's still owner of the Death Note. We know Mikami has the Death Note because that's the book that he got from Light, and Light took the one Misa had, right?
Right.
So now we know that Light has 1 book and Mikami has a real book. So that's 2 real books. But at the last episode, we see 4. So, if you remember in a few episodes prior, you see that Mikami was told to make a fake book so it could be stolen. So that means the book that Nier originally had was a fake.
Right.
But we see a 4th book.
So this is where I was stumped, bro. Like, when you said it's a 4th book, like, it all threw me off. Like, I don't know if other people realized there was a 4th book, but there was a 4th book. And
the answer is Mello. Now this is why I'm going to explain Mello is the key. He's the giant piece of the puzzle.
The reason he says he's the main piece of the puzzle is for some key reasons. But at first I didn't believe, bro. I just kind of was like, nah, because Nier told exactly how he found out. But there's more to it than what meets the eye, basically. And I didn't pay that no mind. So let's look further on, and I'm gonna take it on to my boy.
Alrighty, so everyone, including you, Shay, I want y'all to follow me here, because this is gonna get a little bit confusing with how everything's set up. So we know at the beginning of the episode, Light has a real book, Mikami has a real book, which he gives to the reporter so he can make a fake one. Because if you remember, Light said if he finds anything wrong with the real book, to make a fake one. So now, there's 3 total. Now, if we include Mello, how many does that include? That includes a total of 4.
Right.
So at the end of the episode, we see Light with his book, because of course he's still got the Death Note. Yeah. Mikami has 1, which presumably is the real one based on what Light says. Because he's like, oh, Mikami's the one who's going to end everything.
Right.
Nier has one in his hand and also one in his shirt, which means if Light has a real one, that means both Mikami and Nier has a real one, but we see Nier with two, so that means one of them's got to be fake. Because if you remember, Mikami wrote in the book and nothing happened, but I can explain that one. So what I think happened was, if you remember in one of the episodes, Mello happened to come in contact with the Shinigami Sido, which is the crab-like one that was always asking for his book back.
Right.
And if you remember, Mello, being the boss of all those goons, he could have easily gained ownership over the Death Note when he asked for the book. Because everyone else is his goons. Right,
and he did mention that he was trying to figure out how to use the book to his advantage and make it do what it needed to do.
And if you remember, he sent Sido outside to stand guard and watch, and he did so. And that's not the first time you see a Shinigami doing whatever the owner of the Death Note wants. If you remember, Light told Ryuk to find all the cameras.
Right.
So this gives me the thought that if you remember when Mello died, he didn't have the Death Note on him.
Right.
All the members of his little gang in the hideout were all murdered by Light's father.
Right.
If you remember the little raid on the hideout. Mm-hmm. Now, think of it like this. I propose this as an idea and think of it and take it into consideration. After Mello dies, Nier, knowing that because Mello is someone, that he's been in, contact with for a while, would automatically assume this is a Death Note related incident, right?
Yeah.
So he'll go out, check the body, and let's say he finds out where Mello's hideout is.
Right.
He goes to the hideout because you remember none of the goons had the book. Neither did Mello, which means it's got to be at the hideout.
It got to be. But let me pause you right there, because I know some people probably thinking what I initially thought when we first talked about this before we even brought it to the video. I was thinking, okay, the reporter lady, she had a piece of paper in the truck. Mm-hmm. And then the truck exploded. Okay. But I remember I brought this up to you before. Mm-hmm. And you explained it off to me again.
Do you want me to explain it here?
No, I mean, you basically just explained it.
Yeah.
But I initially thought that, and then I just thought it again, but we've already been over this, so I already know the deal.
And just a really quick explanation on that is, if you remember, Light is the one that caused the reporter's death, not Mello or Mikami. Even though it was later on in the episode that Mikami wrote down the book, but of course we know Light killed her first.
Right.
So now, at the very last episode, Nier has, let's just assume, Mello's book, because you remember he got his book from Sido. So now, I think what happened was, because Nier found this second book, or this book that Mello had, knowing that Light supposedly had a book in their custody, he didn't know if he was the owner of it or not, but he did know there was a Death Note in their possession.
Yeah.
Nier also know that Mikami had a book in his possession. So this is how I believe Mello fits into all of this. Nier finds Mello's book, uses it as leverage against Kirta or Light, whatever you want to say,
right,
and baits him into admitting that he had lost, because he was thinking that the book Mikami had was a real one, but it was actually a fake one.
Yeah.
Which, to explain that, I think what happened was, if you remember, Nier said that he figured out what day he will write the names of the people in that meeting was a certain page. But I think what he did is he wrote took a few pages of regular notebook paper and put it into the Death Note.
Maybe he said he exchanged some papers.
He exchanged some, but he didn't say a specific number.
Yeah, he didn't.
He did say that he exchanged the paper on that day.
Yeah.
But he did say some meaning more than one.
Yeah.
So with that being in place, I think Light said, okay, Mikami write on a further page behind, but still was writing on regular paper. That's why no one in that room died, because he was writing on regular paper. That also would explain why Mikami had a real one. Even though it was a real Death Note, the paper he was writing on was fake.
Right.
Light, having left the book that he owned, except for the piece of paper in his watch, was back in the command center. Or what do you want to call it?
The office or the base, whatever he was
the
at.
house, whatever, talking about.
Pretty much.
So that means in that room there was 3 total. You remember all 3.
Mm-hmm.
that means the book that that Nier stole was indeed 100% fake. That Light had Mikami create.
Right.
But that third book that he pulls out of his shirt, that's got to be with no doubt Mellow's book. And here's another proposition that I would highly suggest you think about. What if Nier wrote down in the book that everyone except for Kira and Light would live? So basically, Kira and Mikami both die.
Yeah.
Mikami stabs himself, and
Right.
Light just gets shot by one of the other guys.
Yeah.
After, because you can specify what happens before the death.
Right,
So what if
right.
he specifies that after Light confesses that he's Kira, he gets shot and dies of a fatal wound, and Mikami kills himself by stabbing himself with a knife?
Wait a second though. With the Light part, remember Ryuk ended up writing his name in his book.
He if you remember, I'm just saying, like, Nier doesn't kill him, he wounds him.
Right.
So with what's that guy's name that shot him a bunch of times? That guy.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. I haven't seen him in a minute. But what if Nier wrote down his name to shoot Light, to wound him to slow him down, and then that's when Ryuk finally took his life.
Yeah.
But then he wrote also Mikami would kill himself after he was denied by Kira.
Yeah. Cause his death was kind of funny how it happened. Like he just came out of nowhere and just stabbed himself. Like,
Because I mean, if you look
shit
at
got crazy.
Yeah, you're like, wait, whoa, why? Because if you remember, up until that point, Mikami was, admiring Kira as God. He was a lawyer. He was on a strict schedule. There's, it just doesn't seem like him.
Right.
So with all this said, it makes so much sense that the book that Nier pulls out is indeed a real one, but is the book that Mello had. And that will explain how Nier was able to win, not by cheating, not by the director's decision to make, Light appear to be the bad guy,
Right.
but he was able to find this extra book that Light had no knowledge of.
Yeah, and so they gave him a leg up by finding another
gave him
book.
a leg up. Because throughout the whole show, what was they trying to do to each other? Get one step ahead.
One step ahead.
And that book is what finally caused Nier to win.
Because the show never really let you know, like, that's the step up. You just have to figure that shit out, man. Like, that shit hit me completely when I was at the house one day after we spoke about it the first time, bro. And I just was like, damn. I think it was a few days ago when I got off from work, I was like, damn, bro, right. And I checked it out and I was like, yeah, Mello did have a fucking book. And I forgot all about the other Shinigami that left his shit, but yeah, he did have one. That shit fucking blew my fucking mind, bro. But I'm sure there is somebody out there that's like, oh no, that didn't happen.
This is what happened.
Yeah, we got the real stans and real fanboys out there that really just know and they live the story of Light and everything. But if you got any problems, objections, questions, drop that shit in the comments.
And one more bit of advice that will blow your mind is if you go back and watch that last episode, which I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all will, did you ever notice that Nier never had a date below his name? The only ones that did not have a name or a date under their name was Kira or Light and Nier. Everyone else had a date.
Yeah, you're right.
Those two did not. That would mean, if by the laws of the book, that they have a Deathnote that is real.
Yeah.
And Light even says the first one is a fake. So that means Nier must have a real one. But anyways.
That makes sense, though. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. To the viewers, though, like I said, you got any objections? Any thoughts on what we're thinking about and speaking on? Let us know in the comments. We'll make a part 2. We can have a bigger discussion. Yeah, and I'm gonna let Claymore close out, man. What you gotta say?
Well, I mean, that's my full explanation of the whole video. Oh, not really the whole video, but of the whole last episode of Deathnote and how it all pans out. If you have any issues, if you have any questions, if you have any, thoughts on how something I said might not have been correct, let me know. I will definitely hear you out. So, this is your boy Anime Shea and your boy Claymore. Peace out, guys.
But wait, I want to say one more thing. I want to just thank Claymore for coming through. Thank everybody for watching the video. Give this video a like if you already haven't, and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. I want to let you guys know that I will be watching this Deathnote Netflix bullshit to give a review on that, so make sure you tune in on that too. Thanks for the love, everybody. This is your boy Sheafy on Anime Shay. Make sure you check out my other content too as well. Got some good shit for you though. And new music video on the way. But as always, arigatou gozaimasu.